Alright, how's it going, YouTube? So we're just gonna give a little update of the testing tune and how things went. So as y'all know, I changed the body on the Tombstone chassis. This is just a test body for now. I still think I like the GTR body better. Proline owes me one anyway. I have to send my receipt in and blah blah blah, whatever. But because I got the deformed body, so I think I want to get a new body. But I'm gonna wait till next year. But I'm gonna stay with the GTR body. But I'm gonna try this one out for now. That GTR body I got is completely beat to crap. So anyway, let's go ahead and run through the car real quick. So, alright, as y'all know, I did some changes. Remember, I still have that broken shock tower because, alright, let me show y'all. So my shocks is running like that. Normally, they would go to the end one for them to run directly up. Plus, I broke a piece down here on the shock tower, so I had to drill holes out and move the arm straight over. The car sits way different, but right now, this is how I gotta make it work, because I ain't being lazy and then get a new shock tower. I think I have it, but I didn't change it yet. So another thing is, remember I had moved the servo up to the front, right? I felt I was getting bump steer with that. So what I did was I put the servo back down and back, so everything is aligned more. Now I still think I'm getting a little bump steer, but Charlie said I should put some spacers under here and bring up these arms some more. Especially this left one. And when the car is straight, that's down. So I don't know if I'm getting bump steer because of that. Now if I put spacers in there and bring that up, it'll sit even. Just how that one is. But I'm still running the 6S on this one. It's a 6400. So the car was doing good. Alright. My first pass, I know I didn't get a lot of video. I was more concerned about testing the car. But the videos I did get was good information, because you know, as y'all watch the videos, I watch it myself to see what the car is doing and everything like that. So the first pass, I didn't think the car was gonna go down, so I had it turned way down. I didn't even hear the tires bark. Normally when I don't hear the tires bark, I turn the tune down because I think the prep isn't gonna hold. So first pass, it went down. It did a 226, I believe, but it was a dead tune. So the next one, I turned right up, put everything back to the same, the tires chirped, and I sent it, and I think it did a 186, which was smooth. So right there and then, I started chipping away at the remote. I didn't touch the point or nothing. I believe I started messing with the EPA. So I started giving it more EPA. I believe the car went a 180 next. And this is on the DTS, but it's not accurate to the tree, but I think it's better than the GNSS where we at, because we have the solar panels. But anyway, the next pass was a 180, so I said let me keep chipping away at it. I didn't want to touch the point because seeing the car launch, it felt like it was leaving good. It was leaving dead, a few people said, but it was leaving good to me. So I left it like that and kept working on the EPA. So the next run, it went a 176. Now I haven't touched nothing, charged up, back up, put it back. But also I was running two different bodies. Sorry about that, guy. I was running two different bodies. So one body, I felt like it was giving me. Give me a second, guys. All right, sorry about that. So as I was saying, the body holes, I believe they were off. Meaning like they were too tight. They were too stiff on all the holes. Like they was barely fitting in when I pushed the body on. So when it needed to flex, there was no flex. So it was like sending the car one way. At least that's my theory. So I open up the hose. I'm going to still try that body. I switched over back to the GTR body to see if that was a problem. But on my last run, I did hit the wall, and only the wheelie bar hit the wall right here. So I had bent the bracket. Luckily, Benji had another bracket. I switched out, and I was about to head home. I switched everything out. Benji told me to run the car to make sure it was good, and it was pulling to the right. Now, what I noticed was after I fixed the wheelie bar mount, I forgot to adjust the wheelie bar wheel. So the wheel was down here. So now when I look back at the videos, when I was going doing my 1/8 runs and all of that, it would have some squat. It would squat, come back up, and shoot off. Now, and towards the end, there was no squat. So that meant it was unloading on the wheelie bar. It probably was just hitting the wheelie bar and tossing the car whichever way it wanted to go. And it was always going to the right. So I figured it was something else wrong. So I was going to literally go through the whole car, which I went through the shocks and everything, make sure everything was good. But then I sat the car down and noticed that the wheelie bar was just too low to the ground. So that's how I have the wheelie bar sitting. And it was pretty much like that. So as soon as I take off on the line, it smacks and unloads. So that wasn't helping me. So right now, the way I'm hoping after the smack, because remember after I hit the wall, it didn't go down straight after that. So I'm hoping I fixed the problem there. I'm also hoping I fixed the bump steer I had. Because going down, the car would go dead straight. Coming back, it would fight a little bit. I know with on prep tires it does that, but normally it wouldn't on this car, so that's something I gotta work on too. But so far so good. I'm liking the direction I'm going in, and we're gonna switch out to the Bullet and go from there. Alright, so as of right now, as I was saying, I'm liking the direction the car is going in. So hopefully I can get out and test this week. We got a pop-up race coming on Sunday. So hoping to go faster than what I have. I haven't broken into the 1/8 with this car yet, so I'm going to definitely try. So y'all stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Alright, YouTube. So this is the Bullet. So I had to switch the mounts out from here. So I end up, we're using the other bracket. I was able to have this a bit forward. So being that it's back more right now, the battery sits further back. So I noticed when I was running the test session, the car kind of did that to where it wasn't doing that at all. But so I did my adjustment for it and I got it to go down. So the same ramp and everything I was using last Sunday when I ran the 1/8, I tried it on the DTS and it basically gave me almost the same number. It was so I had my EPA turned down. That was the only thing I did different after I found my tune out of the groove. So what happened here is, after a while being in the groove, after so many people keep testing, the ground is going to get more sticky if they're testing in the same groove. This is what I learned from. So if you're testing in the same groove consistently, it's going to get sticky. So the same, just say if you're leaving at a 16 point, the car is going to get stuck eventually by using that same point. The car needs more point because the ground is more stickier, if that makes any sense. So I started off with a 22 point and I noticed the car clogged. So I left everything the same, went up to a 24 point. The car still clogged. The next run, I went up to the 26 point and the car went dead off the line. It's nice and smooth. So after that, all I wanted to mess with was EPA. So I didn't go back to the same exact tune, but I would say 4 off of my original EPA where I ran my 1/8, and the DTS said I ran a 189. So it wasn't far off. The car is definitely consistent. I would like to try a 4-pole in here just to see what happens. I think the 2-pole I can get more from, but I think a 4-pole might get me where I need to be a little faster. But I don't have another 4-pole, which I don't know if I'm gonna go to Castle. More than likely I am, but I don't have another 4-pole and I don't have enough gears. because this car is running a big spur. So for me to mess with a big spur, I need a big pinion for a FOPO anyway. So we'll see how that works. But I wasn't running air. I ran the same tires I ran on the Tombstone. So I got that down packed with the tire situation. As y'all heard in the video, the tires was barking consistently. So that's what gave me the confidence to turn up the car at the line. Me per se, when I'm at the line, if I don't hear a bark, I know, to me, don't matter what prep I use, if the tire didn't bark, it's the prep is not gonna hold. That's just me, you know, and doing what I've been doing in my routine. So when I can get a tire to bark, I'm real confident that that car is gonna go down consistently. So I'm gonna have a routine video, if you want to call it, or just to show you how I prep the tires. And I don't have a heat gun, and I had warmers, so that's my routine. I'll show you how I do it in another video, but it got me down every time at the testing tune, unless the car was off. I did leave the line every time, so which was a good thing, especially that our ground temps is way different than it was in the summertime. Our ground temps is probably like 70 to 80 right now, and the outside is about 60. So it's very tricky, and you gotta have the knowledge to get it done. Like, especially if you're at a race and the ground temperature change during the day, you gotta know how to tune for it. So if your tires is guaranteed to always stick, should be the best tuner option for you to keep putting out power. My theory anyway. So y'all stay tuned for that video. I'm happy with the Bullet. When I got it, it got new bearings in it, so that I don't have to mess with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna run through the car, make sure all my shocks and everything. This car went down straight. I don't even think I have flipped this car yet, so it's definitely consistent. I wanted to try the 6S in here. Instead of the 8S, I wanted to try the 6S with the same tune just to see if it would get me faster. We will see. My other 6S, I broke my wire, so I gotta fix that on there or order a new one. So we'll see what happens. But the Tombstone, I'm happy with it. I'm hoping to get out sometime this week. If not, I'll be testing the day at a pop-up race. But definitely looking forward to getting that car back out. Trying to see what it does on the tree. If it goes straight down how it was already with the same tune, we'll see what it does, and then we'll start going from there. I mean, I'm late in the season with actually getting the car into the numbers I want, but it's a good starting point for next year, especially if I plan on getting the other ESC that has more timing. So we'll try. We'll see what happens. But you stay tuned for I'll do a video on how I do my prep routine and so on and so forth. So, alright guys, y'all stay tuned, and thanks for tuning in.